For those of you just joining us, the Condor release door is about to open.
I feel like Kelly, I feel like we're doing a space launch.
I know. And with the delay.
I feel like it's like the SpaceX launch that just happened. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited. This is awesome. Yeah, this is going to be really cool to watch. Yeah, so the crew just confirmed they're just getting stuff ready. So patience, everyone. They're just making sure they have all their ducks in a line before we open this door.
And remember,
could you please repeat?
Here we go. Doors opening, everybody. Here we go. Launch is about to commence. So now who's going to go out first, you know? I mean, who's going to be that brave young Condor to make that first big step? So now you can tell they're definitely excited. They can see what's going on. And what we really ideally want here is for the birds to really take their time. So here this is 995. Tich is in the doorway. Here we go. Tich is looking out. Oh, look. Yep. This is so cool. This is really cool. I'm glad everyone gets to join us in watching this, because just the amount of work that we do to get these birds to this stage is really, it's just a cool moment.
and you can just imagine, you know, what these birds might be thinking right now. First time ever outside of captivity.
So it looks like Tich is taking over the door entry. He's gonna take the lead here, I think. Yeah, this is really cool. And again, the slower they take to go out, that is our preference. So this pace is really good right now. I'm definitely liking how they're doing in terms of not rushing out the door. We definitely don't want them to spook out the door. I mean, ideally they just take their time, really start to look out, like exactly what Tich is doing right here.
Hey, Joe, there's a question about the camera. Is there another camera, or is this the only camera, and will you be able to move it around?
Yeah, so my plan is if a bird takes off, we'll try to follow it, because the camera, we only have this one camera, but the camera is pan tilt zoom, so I can, if the bird flies directly out the front, we can follow it and see if it lands down below. If it takes its first big flight out of view, then it will be up to the field crew to go track this bird down.
Excellent.
So we can, if they stay anywhere in the area, in this immediate release area, we'll be able to find them with the camera. We strategically placed it that way so we can not only watch the door, but we can watch the area. Ideally, what Tich does is flies out, makes a short flight down to the area where we have the carcasses ready. And by the way, we have a free-flying bird that's, the crew just informed me, we have Condor 912, a Pinnacles wild-fledged bird is actually hanging out feeding right now on the outside of the pen. So that's about as ideal as we could get to have a bird to kind of follow a similar age bird. 912 is probably a year older than these guys. So it's actually pretty perfect to have not a real dominant bird out there to greet these guys. So that's really good news.
Yeah, and Joe, I'm glad you're moving the camera around a little bit. A lot of the viewers are hoping that we could pull out so we could see more of the surrounding area. Is that possible?
Yeah.
At some point, I'd love to see 912, the wild-fledged 2.5-year-old.
Yeah, I'm afraid if I pan over,
right,
we'll miss the release. So Yeah, I'm going to hold off on that. I'm going to pan out. There's a little bit of a delay when I operate the camera, so just everybody stand by. But look at Tich, boys, stretching those wings. This is really just, this is a perfect transition for these guys. This is really awesome.
I saw that a few others have just recently joined us. So as a quick recap, this is a Condor release in San Simeon, California. We have 4 birds ready to go. 995, also known as Tich, is at the doorway.
Yeah, I'm texting with the crew right now. Yeah, they said they said Tich is definitely hogging up the doorway there. Yeah, and this is pretty typical. You know, the birds are just taking their good old time, and you know, that's something we are definitely happy about. And they might not all do it. I think once Tich clears out of the doorway here, that the others will follow probably a lot quick right behind him.
So Joe, I have a question here from a viewer asking about where the field crew is located. Could you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the field crew is they're dispersed around this area, but we have at least 2 biologists in the blind, which is, you know, in the image you're looking at right now, there's an observation blind at the back of this facility, and it has one-way glass. So we have 2 biologists, possibly a biologist and intern. They're watching through the one-way glass. And they just texted that 912 has actually walked up to the pen and is on the ground. So that again, there's a little delay in my cam operation here. So just everybody stand by. And I think we're going to probably see 995 go here shortly. And we will follow the action for sure.
And just to confirm, Joe, all 7 of these condors were raised at the San Diego Wild Animal Park, right?
Yes. Yes, that's correct.
And they're approximately,
crew.
sorry, I just wanted to also mention that they're approximately 1.5 years of age.
Yeah, and we have so we have another condor out there. Let's see. So there's 912. You guys see 912 down there on the ground? It's pecking beaks with 966 right there through the cage. Uh-oh. Here we go. Here we go, folks. 995 is Tich gonna do it? Go Tich! Woohoo! Got our first release. How awesome is that? All right, let's go find, I'm trying to find Tich right now. So you can see there's other birds on the ground here. There's 912. And who is that? Oh, that's looks like 828. Oh, that's cool. 828, another wild bird. And here we go. Oh, We have another bird. Oh no, we have 912 and let's see what's happening.
Oh, is that where Teach is?
Yeah, you can see him right there on the right. So there's lots of action happening.
This is a really good sign, isn't it, Joe? That
Yeah, this is perfect.
Take off. This is really encouraging.
Yeah, this is exactly what we were hoping for. Yeah, so 995. You can see there's a he's taking it all in, definitely. But you know, 828 and 912 are probably going to exert their dominance pretty soon, and remind 995 of who's the boss.
And then we have a question about those other birds around the carcasses, crow or raven?
Yeah, I'd have to get another look. I believe we have, sorry, I'm steering the camera right now, guys.
Glad you are, Joe.
There's a lot going on. Okay, who else we got? It looks like we might have another bird getting ready to go. You guys watching this? 995 got some food, and he's having to contend with. You can see here. This is his welcome to the wild. This is the tough love he's going to get from the others, and he's going to quickly realize that he's got to wait his turn. Yeah, that's a raven in the foreground there. Yeah, he's going to quickly have to learn that he's going to have to wait his turn to feed. You know, he's going to have to follow the hierarchy here. And you can see right here, yeah, there's 828 telling him my turn to feed, not yours. So yeah, 828's a little bit older, a few years older than 995. So yeah, we're watching here. I'm getting updates. So I'm just exploring around right now. I'm getting updates from the crew. Now here we go. Here's 995.
So Joe, just give me a moment here to give a recap. We have some new people that have joined us. This is a Condor release in San Simeon, California. We opened the doors about 9:10 this morning, a little after, and one of the Condors named Teach was the first to come out. And we're now watching this young Condor interact with some older birds that are already in the wild.
Yeah, so yeah, Teach is out, and yeah, again, the camera will, I'm getting updates from the crew on where the birds are in the area, so to help me operate the camera a little more smoothly. But Teach is still, he received a little he had a welcoming committee for him today. Some older Condors, 828 and 912 have said hello in the way Condors say hello. So Teach is literally learning how to work with other birds as we speak. And again, I mentioned it yesterday, when these birds go out, you know, they have to assimilate to the social structure out in the wild in that pecking order, which is really so important to the strength of the flock. And so these young release birds, that's the first lesson they're going to learn, is that they're not at the top of that. But they do have a role in it, and they just have to accept that role and work together with these other birds and wait their turn to feed, stuff like that. So now we have, you guys can see 995 is back up near the pen on the ground here, perched up on this rock. This is, again, 995 is Teach. 995, Teach was the first to go out, And now we have other birds up here at the pen that we're waiting on. And it looks like they're going to take their good old time coming out. But we have, let's see, who do we have here in the doorway? So yeah, I'll get an update from the crew here. Yeah, any other questions, Kelly, coming in?
I was just scanning through. Well, just got a new message. Let's see. What is the distance from Pinnacles to San Simeon? And I'll go ahead and add, what about the distance between San Simeon and Big Sur? And then how often do the birds mix from these 3 different release sites?
Yeah, so the distances are from Big Sur to San Simeon is in the 30-40 mile range, and then similar for Pinnacles. They're almost equidistant, and it's almost that's kind of a strategy. That's why San Simeon was such a strategic release site, is we felt that it really helped expand the flock. It would not only help the Pinnacles birds, but also the Big Sur birds expand down into this really prime Condor area. You know, there's great habitat around the San Simeon area. That whole coastline boasts a ton of marine mammals. As for those of you who've been to San Simeon, it's famous for the elephant seal colonies, and those actually represent a food source for the condors. So, and just there's historic nesting all over San Luis Obispo County. And yes, the three subflocks mix continuously, and that's really was the goal of with San Simeon, is getting that movement going between all 3 sites, and that's something that condors would do naturally. So this is a way to encourage that. And again, when you're rebuilding a flock, all these little steps help the flock kind of get reestablished a little bit faster. So again, this was more of this San Simeon site has proven to be really strategic in terms of increasing the distribution of the population in Central California. And yeah, it's great. We see these birds interact quite a bit. So we consider it one flock. You know, they are these different release sites, but the flock as a whole in Central California as a whole, it's and again, we're just we're right around 90 birds right now. We had some birds fledge recently. Pinnacles just released 2 birds over at Pinnacles. And now we have 1 more to add to the free flying flock. Tich is out, number 995. So literally the population is growing today. So it's pretty cool. You guys get to watch this. Yeah, so just getting updates from the crew. Yeah, 995. Tich is still sitting down in front of the pen, which is great. He's letting the older birds feed, but he now knows where the food is, and that's great. So when he does take his first test flight, he knows where to come back and find the others and find food. And as everyone saw earlier, he attempted to feed, and he basically kicked off the food pretty quickly by the older birds, and that's part of condor life. He will all these birds will learn how to contend and adapt to the hierarchy out in the wild. So this is just part of life for condors. And what's great is they learn from it and they adapt really quickly. So it's pretty exciting. Let's see what's going on here. I'm panning the camera around. You guys will see it soon. And if you hear me get quiet, it's because I'm just catching up on what's going on trying to keep up with what's going on in the cam. And you will soon see what I'm seeing. Yes,
Jill
we're
and
seeing.
Kelly,
Yeah.
will the birds return to the pen once they leave it, is one of the questions.
Yes, they'll return to the area, the pen area. You know, the the biggest goal is to get them back here feeding near the pen, but actually going back into the pen, we potentially will get them to that point, but right now it's just getting them back to the area, which we feel pretty confident. These birds this is a really tight group. They'll definitely want to be back hanging out with each other.
So if this is a good time, I'd like to also address another question.
Yeah, go for it.
While you're doing that, I'll go ahead and answer it. The question is about the feeding. And do we regularly put carcasses out for the birds? And the first part of that is yes, for the young birds we do, because they're very naive and they they need that extra help until they gain independence. And then the second part to that is over time, these birds, when they do gain independence, find food on their own all over the landscape. And we do not intend to feed these birds in the long run. This is a function of the releases and also a way to minimize the threat of lead poisoning. Excuse me. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, I'm just, yeah, keep talking, Kelly. I'm busy keeping up with the cam here. There's a lot going on. Yeah, we have 828, as you can see. He's the dominant bird on the slope right now, right here with these other birds. So he's kind of exerting his dominance. But again, his dominance is only last as long until maybe a bird like 566 shows up, Mike's bird, that any of these older birds older than him, more dominant, will show up, and that everything will shift. So I think 828 is just enjoying the limelight here of being able to dominate the carcass. There he is flushing off another bird.
Hey, Joe, I just want to make sure we got the gender right for 828.
Yeah, let me look. Let's see. 828 is. So that's a Pinnacles release bird. In 828. Yeah, with 100 birds, it's hard to remember all the genders.
Yeah.
Let me get back to you on that.
Okay, well, while you're thinking about that, there was a question about, will the pen stay on site? And yes, it is. And the main reason is so that we can retrap the birds later on if they need medical attention or replacement of a radio transmitter, for example, so that we can keep track of their whereabouts in the wild. When we first started releasing condors, we thought having a pen out there was a bad idea, and we tore it all down and we hid it in the bushes. And then we realized that when the birds come back and they need help, we had nothing, we had no way to retrap them. So this has turned out to be an extremely useful technique. And it really doesn't appear to affect the behavior at all of the birds. The behavior of condors is really more about their upbringing and whether or not they're raised by actual condors, or at least in view of actual condors in those formidable first few months. Formative, I should say.
Okay, so we have another release door we can open. And so I've been communicating with the crew. It looks like we're going to go ahead and open the lower door. And yeah, this is what can happen. We can have our signal periodically gets disrupted, our signal, which gives us internet to this site. So we're on the highlight reel here. It should just be a short interruption. So stand by, everybody. So yeah, I'm getting updates. Tich is moving around the slope quite a bit. He's navigating these older birds. 828 is a female, actually, and 912 is a male. And again, 912 is a wild fledged bird, fledged over in San Benito County from a cliff nest. 828 is actually a release bird that Pinnacles released a few years ago. And so now, okay, we're back. We got stream going again. So the crew's about to open the lower door, which would be, should get things going a little bit here. Yeah, we're just taking advantage of the calm conditions right now. So we're opening that second door. This is a really ideal time to get these 4 birds out. So anytime you can have really premium weather conditions like this, it's good to get them going. Okay, we still have the 2 in the upper door. There's you're going to see that lower door open up here shortly. And yeah, when these doors initially open, the birds can sometimes get a little bit startled. It's something they don't see that often. And then it's just a matter of walking over. They're used to seeing that whole wall be shut off. So it's a matter of them walking over and actually noticing it's open. So it's pretty intuitive, but they're also being very cautious. And that's something you want to see with condors. You don't want them just jumping out right away. Even Tich took its time this morning. He took his time, and that's really what we want. That's just a good approach to have as a condor to anything. Condors are infamous for, if they do find a carcass on the landscape, a wild carcass, they tend to land nearby and watch it. And the reason they're doing that is because they're seeing if there's other predators around or other scavengers that could potentially predate them, whether it's a coyote or a mountain lion or anything that's down there scavenging that could pose a threat to them. So again, the old condor time stigma attaches to everything. It's really a condor's best friend is that patience they have in waiting to go before they make a move. And this applies. This is no different. This is something they've never experienced before, so they can take their good old time in my book. So yeah, we got this second door now open, and this we got and it's, who is it? Oh, we got 966 and Pixchi, and I think it's just a matter of time before Pixchi figures out that door is open. So we can just watch, and it does take a little while sometimes for these guys to get to that point. So now we have, let's go try to find. Yeah, we have a lot going on. So the reason I'm quiet is because I'm trying to, I'm fielding text from the crew. They're seeing stuff on the ground that we can't see, and they're trying to help me out in terms of where the areas of activity are. And there is a slight delay from when I operate the camera to what you guys see. It's not terribly, it's just not too long, but just be forewarned.
So a couple of you noticed that the birds we attempted to release yesterday are not the same ones today. And I just want to quickly explain why. And that is this first little area here that we're looking at.
Oh, here we go, Kelly.
Oh, hold on.
All right, Pixchi's out. I think looks like Pixchi took a flight. So I'll get updates from the crew. I have a feeling Pixchi may have taken a nice big flight. And I will hear from the field crew here shortly. So again, we have our crew strategically staged around the release site. We have a couple folks in the actual at the actual release pen and an observation blind in the back, and they're looking through one-way glass at the action out in front of them. And then we also have a couple of our crew staggered out to the north and south of the release site. In the event some of these condors take flight, they can track and see where they land. So we've got all our bases covered. So pretty exciting. We have 2 out. So we have Tich and Pixchi out, 966 and 955, a male and a female. Pixchi's a female, and 995 is Tich is a male. Okay, I'm getting. If you hear the phone, my phone dinging, that's the crew checking in. I'm trying to get an update on 966.
Okay, while you're doing that, finish my thought from earlier. We have a small holding pen that's separate from the main flight pen there, so that we can allow a few birds in there, close it off, and then we have a little bit more control over letting those birds go without releasing the entire cohort.
Yeah, so the crew did confirm Pixchi has taken flight. So they're now tracking down where Pixchi landed. Again, it was more of a first flight, but they said all looked well. So Pixchi is flying free, which is really great. And we'll get updates from the crew as they locate where she landed. It sounds like it's pretty close by, and it's probably in a tree. She headed, she took off, and it looks like she headed hooked to the south, which is great. There's a lot of great perching to the south, just south of the release site. So yeah, we'll get updates on Pixchi, and now we're awaiting the other 2. We still have 968 Wassak, and we still have 957 Muursh still ready to go. So we're halfway there on the releases today. Pretty exciting. And again, thanks everybody for your patience. This is day 3, and I think it was definitely well worth the wait, because boy, you can see the conditions today are optimal for releases. So I'm really glad we just hung in there, and really big kudos to the field crew. They had to hang in there through all of the inclement weather the last couple of days. So I think they're pretty elated right now, to say the least. So yeah, you can see there, I've got it now on the last 2. I have no idea when they'll go out. They might just take a little bit longer than the others. So yeah, we'll just keep a close eye on this, and I'll just keep giving you guys updates on the others. And I have a feeling maybe some more, we might even get a few more of the wild birds coming in today.
Hey, Joe?
Yeah.
I've had a question from before, and then I think again, so I was hoping you'd answer it. But the behavioral display that you're seeing now, the wings open, could you explain that to the viewers?
Yeah, so for condors, that's called sunning. They're not the only bird species that does that. You for those of you that have turkey vultures around where you live, you'll see turkey vultures in the morning sunning. 2 of the main reasons they do this is not only to warm up, but if you're an animal that depends on flight, it's a great way to dry out, and to actually, not only that, but they think that UV, there's evidence that the UV sunlight actually kills off any, they get basically like feather mites, and the UV rays can actually help them control the feather mites, which is really cool. And the main purpose is just like if you're any flying bird, it's a great way to dry out your wings, get your feathers aligned. You'll see them preening, and they're basically getting their flight gear ready. So and it's just a great way to warm up and capture the morning light. I think that's probably one of the most famous poses for a condor. And I think people that have seen them in the wild and they see that pose, it will stick with you a long time. It's pretty wild, especially how their primaries come up. And those pointed ends, it definitely captures your captures your eye when you see it out in the wild. But it is one of the more majestic poses they have, one of the more signature poses they have. But yeah, it definitely serves a function for these guys. So yeah, great question. Yeah, so there's it's really cool. 995 has basically, he took those initial lumps, but he's back at it. He's down here on the carcass now, right next to 828. He's not, he's basically, showing us that he was more than ready to get out there and hang with these birds, because now he's showing, hey, okay, I understand you're at the top, but I'm not going anywhere. So it's a really great sign. This is for this bird Tich. This is really great. This is exactly what we were hoping to see. Just this confidence, despite getting a little bit rattled at the beginning, he's not letting it shake him, and he's ready to compete. So this is pretty awesome to see him, and not only that, to see him feeding at the site. This is a number one goal, step one for us. So, and the same for the bird that just took flight, Pixchi 966. Our goal now is to make sure she gets back and knows where the food is able to feed with the others. And so, yeah, there's a lot of randomness. You see releases where birds like Tich will just go walk out and start hanging with the other birds. And you have releases where these birds will immediately take off and then they work their way back. So there's a lot of variation, and there's some. This is a little bit more ideal, but what Pixchi's doing is not bad either. It's just a different approach. But again, we're on it. We're monitoring it. We use GPS transmitters. We use radio transmitters to keep track of these birds. So if Pixchi takes a bigger flight today, we'll be able to monitor her whereabouts and make sure she's okay. So, and that happens. We have birds sometimes take about a week to get back. So there's, and we've had birds go as long as 2 weeks. So they definitely, fortunately, condors are designed to go. They can go a long time between feedings, and so this is something that I think by design works well for condors. You can imagine if you were with those big wingspans and you get stuck in a big storm, in Big Sur, we'll get storms that sock in the area for over a week. And so if you're designed like a condor and can't fly in those conditions, their bodies are designed to store food for long periods. They have a crop on their up right above their keel on their chest, and they are on their breastplate where they can store 2 to 3 as much as 4 pounds of meat in there. So they have a lot of reserves they can use. And fortunately, all these release birds have a lot of reserves. They, in a way, have a lot of baby fat still. So that is going to be converted to muscle as they learn how to fly. I was speaking to that yesterday. The only way they develop those flight muscles is by actually flying in the wild. There's really no way to mimic that in captivity, that sustained flight, that endurance they'll need. And so basically these chicks are going to replace all that baby fat with muscle over the next couple weeks. And it's amazing how fast they learn for as big as they are. They learn how to fly, and they learn from each other. These young birds are just absorbing like sponges. Even watching these birds that are like for Tich right here this morning, he's been getting pushed around by these other birds, but at the same time, he will watch them like a hawk when they take off and try to figure out how, oh, here we go. Tich is getting in another scuffle. He's letting them know, hey, I'm not going to get pushed off easy. That's a really great behavior. So, yeah, I'm really encouraged with how things are going. Let's see here.
So let me jump in.
Yeah.
So I think what we're going to be doing here, unless these other 2 birds come out right away, is probably wrapping up in a little bit, and reminding everybody that we'll have a recap at 4 o'clock on another Zoom, and then we'll also make sure everybody knows how to continue watching. outside of the Zoom, just through our regular website. But what do you think of these other two birds based on your experience? You think these other two birds will come out soon, or take?
Yeah, I think they'll come out probably not right away, but in the next hour or two. So yeah, we're going to keep the camera on the release pen, and like as you said, Kelly, people can tune in at 4 to find out what they had. But these other two will probably potentially go out. I just don't know when. But we're going to obviously keep the cam live and glued in on the action. And so yeah, that's going to be the best way, just to kind of keep the live cam going, and you'll see it when it unfolds.
And I also just want to comment, there are people from all over the world joining us today. It is just amazing, the technology. I thought I saw someone from Russia, certainly all over California and all over the United States. So once again, I just want to welcome you and thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, I'm now moving up to the two and the two birds that we're still waiting on. Yeah, who we got here? We got Muursh 957, 968 Wassak. So yeah, they're definitely these two are definitely checking things out, but it's definitely a lot to take in. So for a couple birds to be a little more apprehensive is totally normal. So and again, if they take their sweet time, that is fine by us. And again, it's all about what's not rushing these birds out. Let them, we want them to do it on their own accord. That's always best with condors. So if they take a little longer than the first two, that is totally acceptable. So yeah, it's just going to require some patience and on our part, but that's the least we can do, to make sure that they have a clear path to release, and they got a long life ahead of them. Condors live 40 to 50 years in the wild. So we know this is just the beginning, and you all were here to witness it. You're here to witness their the beginning of a long life in the wild. So I think that can't be understated. The program has come so far, not only Ventana Wildlife Society, but speaking on behalf of the whole entire recovery program. A lot of partners involved, and I think this is the culmination of everyone's work. I mean, I can't put into words the amount of dedication and passion of the folks I'm privileged to work with on all levels, whether it be the captive side or out in the field. It's truly inspiring to be. It feeds itself. I'm really honored to be able to work alongside these folks, and again, these birds represent the end result of that work. And our only hope is to basically, for the future of these birds, as Kelly mentioned earlier, just get some of these threats out of their way. They have the tools. They know what to do. We know that. They've proven the concept, so to speak. These birds know where to nest. They know where to feed. It's just a matter of adjusting some of our ways to make room for these birds. And really the biggest one we can do right now is with using non-lead ammunition. So it's a small change that has a big impact and and it will help a species reestablish itself once again. So we're really happy that all the participation and excitement we've seen just in general. I think within Nico and the nest this year, I mean, that was such a unique live streaming camera opportunity, and it wouldn't have been possible without explore.org. So, another important partner in all of this. And, with that, we all got to learn. We all got to see life in the wild. And yeah, things didn't unfold exactly how we wanted, but I think that's what these cams do. I think they bring us into the wild, into the world of these animals. And whether it be a condor or the grizzly bears that you see on Explore, the different cams, you're kind of bought in, and we don't have control over it. In situations where we can help, we do, but in the bigger picture, we're looking in on we're getting this intimate look into their world. and out of respect to the animals, we have to back off when it's appropriate and obviously intervene when we need to. But I can't, the amount of what we all learned by watching a Nico, I think was pretty amazing. Just the fact that people all over the world were watching this. I think, as Kelly noted earlier, we have viewers all over the planet. So I think we all share that common passion for wildlife, whether it be condors or any other animals. And I think that just to see that bring people together around the world is pretty cool. I think conservation moving forward has to be put higher on a world level. I think we all know we have to share this planet with these guys, and I think we'll all be better off in the long run if we can.
Well said.
This exciting day for sure. Yeah, sorry, Kelly, go ahead.
No, well said. I couldn't have said it better. And I just want to answer one more question, and then I'll ask you to, give a recap of how people can watch on any given day. And then again, just as a reminder, if you want to join us for a recap at 4 o'clock, go to our website and sign up for that Zoom chat if you haven't already. The question I want to answer is, what's the status of the current population? And, we always get this question, and it's a very important one, so I wanted to take a minute. As of the end of 2019, there were 518 condors living, of which 337 were in the wild. In Central California, we had 200. And Arizona and Utah, there were 98.
Well, Kelly, real quick, you meant for California, we had 200. Sorry.
Yeah, California. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what I said. But yeah, so 337 total. And of those, 200 were in the wild in California, 98 in Arizona and Utah, and then 39 in Baja California, Mexico. Of course, there's been changes. There have been new birds added, some losses. So that's a population count as of the end of last year. And we'll get another formal update in January. So again, just want to thank everybody. And Joe, why don't you share with everyone how they can continue to watch?
Yeah, so you can watch this live stream on our website, ventanaws.org, or you can watch it on explore.org. And those are the two main areas to watch the live stream today. And again, we'll have a full update this afternoon when we do our monthly VWS Zoom chat and have updates on all the birds. But definitely stay tuned in the rest of the day and watch the action unfold. I'm fairly sure these two are going to go out today. I just don't know exactly when. So yeah, that's more of a reason to stay in. And I'm going to be spending my time controlling the camera and communicating with the crew. But I was really glad to be able to share the morning with you guys and for the first two releases. But yeah, I think for now I'm going to get back to the task at hand here and keep the camera on the action for you guys. So definitely stay tuned and tune into the live stream. Big thanks to all of you for joining us.
Yes, thank you all. I see from Russia, Ecuador, Mexico, Connecticut, all over. It's really exciting.
Very
Have a
cool.
good rest of your day.
That's amazing. Yeah. Have a great one, everyone. See you tonight.
Thank you for the excitement.
Thank you.